What's going on, everybody? And on here, and hopefully everybody enjoyed a good day of football today. It was two pretty good games. So it's time for this week in Distro. Just kind of want to walk through where we're at. And again, this is the magazine exchange public special site. So this is basically where anybody who has an account, you can take a look at this, and this is the max that you can order if you don't have a separate allocation or a bunch of spend. So let's start with Magic the Gathering. Just a couple things to note. So Innistrad play boosters are out pretty much everywhere at Distro, and the same with collector boxes. Now, Magazine Exchange tends to keep stuff a little bit longer, and you can see here they upcharged $295 or $259 for collectors, $145 for play, which is about what they have been. But it's it's such a weird set because it's so underprinted and it's kind of a garbage set in my view. I mean, there's some cool cards. It's a cool concept. But I think the value of this set's really going to come from the fact that there's not much of it out there. Moving to Aether Drift. So this is interesting. I guess there's one serialized card that's going to be in the set, which is pretty cool. Because I believe it's going to be another of 500, and it's whatever the Ether artifact, whatever thingy is for a set that comes out in 4-week set. We don't know a whole heck of a lot about. But this is another one that's going to be interesting to pay attention to. Just because it's getting not a whole lot of press, kind of dead out there. And here collector boosters are 189. They're a little bit on the high end price wise, but that's okay. So moving to commander decks. So these guys are the only distro that has Bloomborough commander decks in stock, and these are $200 right now on TCG Player. They were $350 before the restock came in, but most of the restocks blown through the market already. They're 129 remaining. Fallout 142, MX2 or Modern Horizons 3 169. Ixalan, there's still some commander decks here at 129, and then Lord of the Rings 143. They're a little bit cheaper at some other distributors, but it's an okay price. They're selling for 200 on TCG Player. Moving on, Foundations, Lord of the Rings Draft. This is kind of the closeout. These guys still have some play boosters of Bloomborough, and quite honestly, $118.50 per. It's not a bad price. And it looks like Distro, all the rest of the distributors are out of Bloomborough play boxes, and it's on back order at the printer right now. So here's the rest of the play boosters. Again, take a look at this when you want. One thing I want to point out is it looks like Brothers War, which has been on here forever, is now gone. It's unavailable, and it was, I believe, $209 or $219. They did pull Assassin's Creed in here for whatever reason. Commander Masters, whatever. Karlov up to $180. OTJ $189. It's been on here forever, but a lot of these are starting to dry up, which is super interesting. So moving on to Pokemon, this is where the big news is. So, we've gotten some good news from most of distribution. A couple folks don't know what's going on yet, but they're hearing rumblings. So we had one distributor who recently did their inventory. They reached out and they had booster bundles of Obsidian Flames, cases of them. So that was nice to see. Multiple distributors have gotten bundles of Surging Sparks. They've also been told that they're getting booster boxes. They don't quite know when yet. They just know it's coming. They don't know if it's this week coming up, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. But they did confirm that it is absolutely coming in booster box form. 151, something that I had theorized in a video, about 10 days ago, 9 days ago, whatever. Since we saw a significant amount of this at Walmart. At $49.95. And by the way, if you want bundles, you don't need anything to do. You just go to Walmart. They have them for sale. I think they have like 1,500 of them left, but it's about as cheap as you're ever going to get at this point on 151 bundles, because we're 4 or 5 months away from the end of the print window on that. So that was interesting. And we have 151 here, and again, it's one display per account. That is the bare minimum allocation. So they're offering this to everybody. If you have higher spend, you get more, etc. We've also gotten the same offer of Surging Sparks and 151 from another distributor. which we completed that transaction last week. We do know that Southern Hobby is putting together a bundle. They tend to do that on occasion to push out some slow moving product. It's anybody who's paid any attention all knows that that's a thing. So we're actually kind of excited to see what's going on, because even with the decks and the starter pieces, there's not really such a thing as a junk product right now in Pokemon. So even if we have to take a little bit of a haircut on it, it is what it is. So that's good. So a lot of stuff coming. Prismatic Evolutions hit on Friday. It looks like the ETBs immediately sold off with a flush of inventory. It's already moving back up to the high 120, 127, 128 last time I checked. But it's a super interesting set because the price point is very, very, very high. The gambler's premium and the payoff is astronomical. I mean, the Umbreon SIR is, I think, $1,500, $1,600 in raw form, and it's selling. Some of the other evolutions are, $300, $400, $500. But the problem is if you get nothing, no big hits, or full art trainer, SIR trainer, you're walking away with $15 of cards, and you're kind of getting your your face kicked in. So it'll be interesting to see how this one performs, because with Surging, there were a lot of hits that you could get to. I mean, 6 or 7 cards are $100 plus. But here, you're I guess you're in the same place, but you're paying effectively 130 plus tax, so call it $140 for 10 pack, or for 9 packs, I guess, in the ETB, as opposed to paying 180, 160, 200, depending on when we're talking, after release on Surging, for 36 packs. So from a relative value perspective, it's a little if you will, but we'll see what happens, because people love to gamble, and the cards are beautiful. I've never been a huge fan of the standard Pokemon cards, but I mean, they honestly, I ripped a couple packs, and the quality actually reminds me a little bit of your Weiss Schwartz cards. So anyway, guys, that's all we have for this week. Again, expect a lot of things coming up over the next 2 weeks. Journey Together booster. The order window opened actually two Fridays ago, not 2 days ago, but the Friday before is the earliest window, and it probably is going to close this Wednesday in most distributors, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. As I mentioned with the Pokemon Center ETB theoretical print runs, it looks like Journey Together is actually a little bit lighter printed, at least from that perspective, than Prismatic, which is a specialty set, and actually a little bit more lightly printed than Surging Sparks. And again, I think that's because Surging Sparks is Pikachu set, and this is not going to be a Pikachu set. So anyway, guys, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. We just blew out 120 Bloomburrow Commander displays, $154.99. The week before we had a sale on Stellar Crown booster boxes. I think we were moving them at 145 or 140, something like that. So it's pretty much exclusive to the Discord. So anyway, guys, enjoy your Sunday, and we'll talk soon.